Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period.
Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis spoke out for him last night.
Life was more affordable when Donald Trump was president. Our border was safer under the Trump administration, and our country was respected.
Vivek Ramaswamy, also an ex-2024 Republican campaign rival turned Trump supporter.
We're not going to win this election just by criticizing the other side. We're going to win this by standing for our own vision.
Make America safe again was the theme last night.
My sister's death was preventable. The monster arrested for killing Rachel entered the U.S. unlawfully.
Michael Moran's sister was murdered last year in Maryland. Tonight, Senator J.D. Vance gets the spotlight, accepting the VP nomination. Vice President Harris says in a campaign ad,
Trump looked for someone he knew would be a rubber stamp for his extreme agenda. And make no mistake, J.D. Vance will be loyal only to Trump, not to our country.
President Biden will address Latino voters in Las Vegas the day after telling the NAACP convention there that the Trump presidency was hell for black Americans. Some Democrats are still worried about the president's age and mental fitness.
To stop the Democratic mutiny, the DNC is going to try to install Biden as the nominee before their convention next month, virtually. Many Democratic lawmakers do not want that to happen, writing in a letter to the DNC chair, regardless of whether President Biden remains our nominee, we respectfully but emphatically request that you cancel any plans for an accelerated virtual roll call.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. A death row inmate is waking up this morning in Texas, but Ruben Gutierrez wasn't supposed to. The Supreme Court blocked his execution last night just minutes before he was lethally injected as Gutierrez appeals for new DNA testing. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Democrats have been very critical of the Supreme Court that has turned more conservative with 3 Trump-appointed justices. President Biden says he's considering proposals to reform the court with a new code of ethics and term limits on justices, which would require congressional approval. A new Fox News poll suggests that the president might get a lot of support for changes.
Only 38% of those responding in the poll approve of the Supreme Court's performance, with 60% disapproving. That is down 3 points from April of 2023 and a big drop from a record high of 58% in March of 2017. 56% disapproved of the court's July 1st ruling, stating that former presidents are immune for official actions taken while in office. 83% believe partisanship plays a factor in Supreme Court rulings, and 81% favor a mandatory retirement age for justices. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Of course, the Supreme Court's ruling 2 years ago allowing states to ban abortion continues to spur legal fights across the country.
Arkansans for Limited Government filed a lawsuit Tuesday asking the state Supreme Court to step in regarding their effort to gather enough signatures to put a ballot measure before voters this November. The group says it submitted enough signatures to meet the threshold, but the Arkansas Secretary of State rejected their effort for legal reasons. Following the U.S. Supreme Court's overturning of Roe v. Wade, Arkansas now bans most abortions unless it's to protect the mother's life. Arkansans for Limited Government is pushing for a ballot measure calling for the prohibition of laws that limit abortion in the first 20 weeks of pregnancy. Tom Graham, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are down the day after the Dow surged to a new record high. They're down more than 300 points for the Nasdaq. The American League won baseball's All-Star game, beating the NL 5-3, powered by Boston's Jarren Duran. His home run ended up the game winner, and he ended up the All-Star game MVP. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Champaign County coroner is identifying an Alabama man who died following a July 4th motorcycle crash on I-57 in Effingham. Russell Bright died at the hospital last Friday. It happened on the ramp from U.S. Route 45 to northbound I-57. His death is under investigation. U.S. Senator Dick Durbin says it's a miracle Donald Trump's still alive. Illinois Democrat spoke to reporters about the failed assassination attempt of former President Trump. Durbin said he has no idea how the shooter able to get on a roof that was in firing range of the former president. The senator adds they've been able to reflect on the rhetoric that's being said about one another. U.S. Geological Survey confirming that an earthquake hit DeKalb County. A 3.4 magnitude quake was reported early Monday about 1 mile northwest of Somonauk. People in the area reported weak or light shaking, but the good news, there was no damage. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, Jim, thank you. July 17, good morning. I am Stevie J. That's Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
This will be Greg Solier, brought to you this morning by the Urbana Park District.
Blair Park tonight, 6:30 to 8. It's neighborhood nights with Hot Club of Urbana performing. That'll be fun. And this weekend at Parklands Theater, we have Oliver. And if you want to check that out, it's Friday through Sunday.
All right, meteorologist Greg Solier. Beautiful morning across East Central Illinois, my friend.
Yeah, just a couple little filaments of some high and mid-level cloud and a little secondary cool front having pushed through the area on the overnight hours. A little third or tertiary boundary that has much drier air with it. The dew points go from almost still 70 here and a somewhat muggy feel. Certainly wet grounds contributing to that. Dew points back into the mid to upper 50s as you get up north towards maybe Madison, the Dells, and north and northwest of Milwaukee. So that drier air mass is coming our way, and hence a nicer spell of weather with a temperature in mind around here, and a nice significant drop in humidity and dew points for later tonight, tomorrow, right on through the upcoming weekend. And need the dry time in some of the now waterlogged areas of the Corn Belt, washed out with 10 inches of rain down east of East St. Louis and towards Washington County. Some river and dam issues there because of the rain system, and over sections of the Mississippi Valley too, and of course where there's been severe weather assessment continues to go on across parts of Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana from some of those tornado paths. We do see a return, unfortunately, or fortunately, to wetter weather over some of the eastern and southern Corn Belt locales, probably by sometime into the early or more likely middle part of next week, and a lot of rain down towards Brother Johnny's place in the southeastern states. But the tropics of the Atlantic for now, very much on a quiet note. So today, turning partly sunny, cooler, less humid, maybe a sprinkle this afternoon to the east and south of Champaign up to 82. Fair cooler tonight, 58. Sunny, pleasant tomorrow, 76. 78 on Friday, up near 80 for the weekend with comfortable humidity as well. We'll pick up a shower chance late Monday. Humidity begins to climb and a stickier go of it in a couple of showers and thunderstorms Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
All right, good to have John Rogers on the show, pollster and director of client strategy at Signal, CYGNAL, a polling house. I trust that you work in one. We lost it.
Uh-oh.
Try that again. John Rogers coming up. He's a pollster. I love talking to people that make polls. I don't know if you saw the Republican National Convention. Thought Vivek Ramaswamy, he was really good. Nikki Haley spoke. Ron DeSantis, they were good. And Donald Trump will watch his vice president tonight. Guy he chose, J.D. Vance from Ohio. He'll be up with his vice presidential speech. And then tomorrow night, Donald Trump himself. And what will that speech sound like? Laura Trump, his daughter-in-law, completely changed everything. Just talked about the assassination attempt and the impact on the family. All right, John Rogers is with us with... Not working. Something's happening between our... Dare I say it's our phones. Oh, no. Off to a roaring start here this morning. Gotta get the phones fixed. You're hearing him, but then it's not moving to the online button. We apologize for the problems, folks. Trying to get on the Tapman's Join phone line. Anyway, Laura Trump was very compelling. And some of the everyday people, very compelling, talking about, life and why it's been difficult in the last 4 years. So it's got some energy. There's no doubt about it. And we shall see how they come out of this. Usually the conventions help both sides. Republicans ought to get a bump, and then the Democrats would get a bump too following theirs. Is usually how it works. But Not so sure this year. Things feel different. They really do following the assassination attempt. We're learning a little bit more, again, about the 26 minutes that we saw the would-be assassin on the roof, and then the director of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, who actually is from Danville, talking about why they didn't have a Secret Service agent on the roof that was a direct line only 130 meters away from President Trump. Kim Cheadle, whether she graduated from Danville Schlarman or not, she has to go. She actually said that she didn't want Secret Service on that roof because the pitch was kind of dangerous. What?
Yeah.
They had a steeper roof that the snipers were on.
I know.
So they're talking about, well, we got to take care of their safety. We're training guys to put their heads in front of presidents to take a bullet.
That's right.
And you're talking about, so we put them inside. Well, you needed to be on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe she said that. I could not believe the head of the Secret Service. What, the shoes are a little slippery? So we're talking about war here.
Right.
We're talking about fighting terror and assassins.
Right.
Anyway, they're going to testify next week.
Okay.
She can't survive this. This is an epic failure, and we could have lost a president. Mm-hmm. And nobody that I've ever talked to in the last 5 days have ever, gosh, you know what? That roof, understanding it was the only roof with a line shot, and everybody says they could teach me to make a shot at 130 yards in 5 minutes.
I see.
It's just a layup. In basketball, in golf, it'd be a gimme. It was easy. And so a 20-year-old making that shot is not a big deal, particularly if he goes to a shooting range and practices. Mm-hmm. He kind of knows what he's doing. But the fact that there's a guy crawling around, then apparently a police officer did get kind of to the edge of the roof, and the guy turned his gun on him. Wouldn't there be emergency comms? Shooter on the roof, shooter on the roof.
Right.
And everybody stops. And then you neutralize him when the president is safe. It is, when lay people are making more sense than the head of the Secret Service, we got an appointment problem. You just can't keep that. Nobody got fired for Afghanistan, by the way. I'm not sure if anybody in the Biden administration has been fired for poor performance. Huh. Anyway, it is a head shaker, like I like to say. Anyway, so we'll have Brother Johnny Ed Martin. We're going to try and do a little extended version and go with them just a bit early. Normally they're at 7:35 on Wednesdays, but Ed is at the Republican National Convention up in Milwaukee, get his take on all of that. By the way, they did find a guy in a ski mask with a gun in Milwaukee. Yeah, they got to him and arrested him.
Okay.
Walking around with a backpack and a concealed weapon.
Oh, boy.
With a ski mask. Now, we're not saying they're brain surgeons. These people walking around, ski mask, backpack, and a concealed gun. Would you think that'd be a wise thing to do within the perimeter of the facility?
Oh, boy.
We have got so much mental illness. It's just rampant. Okay, it's 7:13, All-Star game last night. If anybody wanted to see it, you could. It was...
I guess Cody Johnson sang the national anthem. Turns out Indrig Andress was drunk.
Yeah, she went into rehab.
Okay.
So that's what it sounds like when she's drunk. Unbelievable. Obviously,
that was the home run derby national anthem
Monday,
that started the trend after she sang the national anthem.
Well, and I think she was giving it her best shot, but she must have had whatever alcoholics have.
Right.
But for an alcoholic to get that kind of drunk, it had to be she was taming nerves or something. I don't know.
Too bad.
Yeah, really is.
So instead of a Redbird recap, we have a recap of the All-Star game last night.
Cardinals and the rest of Major League Baseball remain on the All-Star break. Last night, the Midsummer Classic in Texas. The American League scored a comeback win thanks to 5 unanswered runs. Shohei Ohtani opened the scoring in the bottom of the third when he connected for a 3-run blast off of Collinsville, Illinois native Tanner Houck of the Red Sox. The Yankees' Juan Soto drove home 2, and Cleveland's David Fry drove home another to tie the score in the bottom of the third. The Red Sox' Jarren Duran delivered the deciding blow in the bottom of the 5th inning, blasting a 2-run home run off the Reds' Hunter Green. Duran's shot earned him the Ted Williams All-Star MVP award as the American League takes the game 5-3. The Cardinals' only All-Star selection, closer Ryan Helsley, did not appear in the game, electing not to pitch. He was replaced on the National League roster prior to the game. The Cardinals remain off today and tomorrow, opening the second half Friday in Atlanta. For the Cardinals Radio Network, I'm Joe Pott.
The Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum is the official home of Cardinals history. For those who want to be a part of one of the sport's greatest collections in the world, museum membership is the way to go. Cardinals Museum membership provides unlimited admission for 1 year, exclusive Hall of Fame bobbleheads, discounts, ticket offers, and more, in addition to supporting exhibit design and artifact restoration. There are a variety of membership levels, including our ultimate level of membership. For more info and to join, go to cardinals.com/membership.
Right, by the way, if you like going to campus, finding different places, they've got the flashing stoplights right now, so everything's a four-way stop. Real easy to go up 4th Street. 2 weeks. And then you'll need to go around.
That's right.
Because you got marching Illini, football players, people coming in. It's great. Our town would be so much less without the University of Illinois, obviously. So I'm excited when they go for a month, and excited when they come back. So
Caleb Williams and Rome Adunes, is that how you say it?
No, I don't know.
It was the first and 9th overall picks drafted by the Bears that are reporting. That practice starts on Saturday. J.B. Pritzker meets with the Chicago Bears, who are asking for billions when it comes to the revamp
new
of Soldier
Field.
Field.
They were talking about going to Arlington. And Arlington Heights, and I'm glad they're going to stay at Soldier Field. Don't know what it'll look like and how much it'll cost, but yeah, I guess they want modern stadiums. Everybody's got some. The one they built out in Los Angeles, pretty fancy schmancy. It's billions and billions of dollars that they want us to pay for, or at least part of it. And I think it's a huge value to have a team in your town. There's no doubt about it.
Such a great time with the Challenger League at the Eichelberger Field yesterday. And I'd say over 100 U of I athletes helping out. It was just a great night last night.
Athletes are generally here all the time, play with their
summer camps and all that too.
And they got basketball, playing games all the time.
I guess 2 basketball players on the earlier game. I missed that, but good stuff.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known who they were unless it's Ty Rogers and Dre Gibbs.
In fact, it was someone who was a new
guy.
person.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Long and lean.
Hello, my name is, because we don't know you yet.
Someone who was like 6'9".
Well, there's about 5 of those.
I know.
It's just we are long and athletic, and if you've seen any clips on X, it's just fast and long and talented, and we're going to watch a whole new basketball team this year, and we'll do that again next year. I would guess. It'd be kind of fun to have the players more than 6 months. I think 2 years ought to be a minimum commitment in the college basketball game.
That would be great.
You got to stay 2, I guess, asterisk. If you're a first-round NBA pick, you can go. That's guaranteed money, but nobody knows if they're a first-round NBA pick. Anyway, all right, it is 7:18, ESPN 93.5.
First opened our doors in 1868. We have built upon a tradition of close relationships and broad financial capabilities. Our experienced team provides the highest level of personalized service to ensure we accomplish your goals, simplifying your wealth management and business lending needs, and ensuring a legacy for generations. Building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign, and vicinity. And the next in a series of frontal boundaries having pushed through the area, making its way out of East Central Illinois. Still may spark a shower later this afternoon, otherwise into a drier mode around here. And progressively cooler and less humid over the next couple of days. Very comfortable mid-July weather. Over the time frame of next week, and probably a bit beyond, same boundary that'll push through the area begins to lift back northward, along with Gulf moisture and warmth, and back into a wetter pattern again early to mid next week. Maybe just a lone shower this afternoon to the east and south of Champaign County in particular. Partly sunny skies, turning less humid up to about 82 with a northwest to north wind, 7 to 14 miles per hour, and a bit gusty. Tonight, fair, cooler, 58, light north wind. Tomorrow, sunny, pleasant, up to 76 with a north wind. We'll bottom out in the low to mid 50s tomorrow night. Friday, sunshine and 78. Weekend forecast, sunny to partly cloudy skies. High temperature approaching 80 degrees. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
All right, thank you, Greg. Problems with your current copier vendor regarding service? Call Greg Wolf. Greg just retired.
Oh, yeah.
Call Watts Copy Systems at 217-352-0428. They'll get somebody just as good as Greg. Service is more than a promise. Locally owned, family owned, and employee owned Illinois business. Watts Copy Systems. All right, we're going to catch up with John Rogers, upholster from Signal. We'll do that in just 90 seconds. Stand by. We'll get this from Busey for over 155 years, member FDIC. Now your Fox Business Minute. It's 7:20 in Champaign-Urbana.
Citizens Financial Group shares are narrowly higher after the company's earnings matched expectations and it made more money from its capital markets, wealth, and card businesses. U.S. Bancorp shares are higher after its quarter topped expectations. Johnson & Johnson's earnings and revenue both top forecast, but J&J has lowered expectations for this year, and the stock is lower. Spirit Airlines is lowering expectations for its quarter because it's making less from baggage fees, food, and other charges not included in ticket prices. Drug maker Roche is reporting positive results in early tests of a weight loss pill. The market is currently dominated by Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, which make injectable medications. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Posilda. Invested in you.
From the Fox News Podcast Network.
I'm Emily Campagno, and this is the Fox True Crime Podcast.
And I had nothing to do with her disappearance, but people still accuse me of it.
I sit down with the people who lived the nightmares.
I was in shock. I was just devastated.
The investigators who tirelessly worked on the case.
I feel for their families, and I really hope that they can catch this guy.
Bringing you closer to the story than you ever thought possible.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
John Rogers, are you with me?
I am.
Nice to have you on. I don't know if I want to talk about politics, polling, or that you run a 7:02 mile in a 13-mile race. Come on, man. Really? He ran a 7:02 pace in a half marathon.
Pretty good.
What the heck? All right, so you work in Washington. I presume you work in the swamp, but you're not of the swamp. Is this correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I am proudly from SEC country, Alabama.
I know, you're an Auburn guy, man. You're War Tiger. How does it feel when Nick Saban comes out and said it's Texas and Georgia? Come on, man. Really?
Well, Coach Saban he was a great coach and he's a good analyst, and unfortunately, he's probably right.
Well, the question is Arch Manning even going to play for Texas, man? I thought, what about he can come to Auburn and play tomorrow, can he?
He definitely could, but I don't think we're going to get him.
All right, pollster and director of client strategy at Signal, Cygnal. You guys do a lot of polling. Can you tell me how you get good polling in 2024? Isn't it hard to get people to talk, John?
Yeah, it is. But I mean, that's when you have to do polling that reaches people in every way that they communicate, via text message, via online, via phone calls. And so it is a challenge, but you have to be nimble. And we've, as a company, we've been able to be kind of a startup in a lot of ways, and we've been able to have a lot of success. Ranked the most accurate pollster in the country by 538 for several cycles in a row. So our team is the best in the business.
That's awesome. It really is, because a lot of times you'll see a poll come out, and then you say, well, I'd like to see the methodology and all these other things, right? Because you have to see, why is it generally top-heavy with Democrats when I dig deep?
Well, it depends on the poll that you're looking at. It also depends on the pollster, right? And so you have some pollsters that they may have what's called a bias, a D1 bias. And so what you want to do is look for a pollster that's ranked well, and then you also want to make sure that whatever poll you're looking at is of likely voters. Sometimes you'll have some polls that are out there that are of registered voters, but that's not all that helpful, because you're not actually looking at the people who are going to be there and going to be voting in November.
What is most interesting in this polling season in 2024 for you guys, John?
What's most interesting is that the map has expanded. And so, you had 5 or 6 states that everybody knows are the battleground states, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina. But what's happened is some of those states are now pretty firmly in the Republican column. If I were the Biden campaign, I would just go ahead and write off Georgia. Biden is not going to win Georgia, right? And so what's interesting, though, is that the map has expanded to where even a state like Virginia, which Biden won by 10 points in 2020, is now Biden has a very narrow lead. And that's partly why you saw, I think, pick of J.D. Vance, which is really a governing pick, and is a sign that the Trump campaign is very confident, honestly, that they're going to win the election in November, and they think that states like Virginia are actually already in play.
The status of Joe Biden, how do you poll that?
Well, you can it's interesting is for months now, and really for over the last year, it's been very clear that a majority of Americans think that President Biden is too old to serve a second term. What's fascinating is even a majority of Democratic voters say that President Biden should not be the nominee of their own party. And what's happened is you have a bunker mentality that has started at the White House. Really has been there for a long time now. And Biden is listening to just one or two really close aides. He's listening to his wife. He's listening to Hunter Biden, of all people. And they're not telling him the truth. They're not telling him the truth that he is on a trajectory to lose, and maybe to lose as badly as any president has lost in the last 100 years. But that's not what he's hearing. He's hearing that things are still neck and neck. And so, he's really politically kind of living in a bit of an alternate reality.
And following the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, could this change the dynamic of everything?
So it definitely changes things. I don't know that it changes everything. And the reason why I say that is that we do have a very polarized electorate, right? More than at any point in our history, you do have people who are Democrats or the Republicans, and there's fewer and fewer people in the middle. They're actually not sure who they're going to vote for. But it definitely does change things. I think partly because it energizes the Republican base as if they needed to be energized anymore. But they're also, just seeing the recordings of what happened on Saturday, where President Trump was felled for a moment by would-be assassin bullet. He jumps to his feet, surrounded by the Secret Service, has the blood across his face, pumps his fist, and says, "Fight, fight, fight."
Yeah.
That is someone who everyone knows. I may not agree with that guy, but that guy has an incredible, just sheer force of will. And then you contrast that with President Biden, who seems unable to really give even a press conference and not mistakenly refer to Zelensky as President Putin.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a contrast that does not work well for President Biden.
John Rogers, Signal. How can people connect with your company?
Go online to signal.org. You can also follow me on Twitter at John Rogers AL.
Have you run a marathon, or are you going to run a marathon? What's your status?
Going to run a marathon. I've run 3 half marathons, but going to try to run my first marathon next year after the election.
You can do this. Get her done. I would suggest an 8-minute pace, 7:02 for 26. Wow, that'd be amazing. Anyway, nice to meet you. Keep up your good work, and thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
All right, from Virginia, John Rogers is his name. Signal, his company is CYGNAL. And they do a bunch of polling, a whole bunch on their website about all that. All right, we're going to jump a little early to Ed Martin and Brother Johnny. Ed's up in Milwaukee. Johnny's down in New Orleans again at his Bible study. He pops out for a little bit with us. And we'll get the very latest from the excitement around J.D. Vance.
Yes.
The Ohio Senator.
Lots of excitement with great speakers in Milwaukee.
Ed will give us some insight that you won't hear anywhere else, because he is a little bit on the inside on these things. Stand by. 728. When it comes to finding a reliable vehicle, look no further than Sarah Champagne, your trusted automotive destination. They carry a lineup of top brands, including Honda, BMW, Subaru, GMC, and Buick. And they're not just about cars. They're about people. Their team is dedicated to providing you with trustworthy service and dependable vehicles that fit your lifestyle. Experience the difference at Sarah Champagne. Visit Sarah, S-E-R-R-A, champagne.com. We're talking to Nate Evans of the Nate Evans Group, and we're talking about the current market. What about interest rates? What are you guys seeing on what these numbers are going to do?
Interest rates are a hot topic right now. Interest rates are all over the place. I think they feel super high at the moment, and maybe historically we keep getting told and it's shoved down our throats that it's not. But I think to the real person, we've been used to 5%, maybe even as high as 6%, but maybe a lot of 4s over the last 10 or 15 years. So that's our normal. The Fed announced that they aren't going to raise the prime rate, which is nice, and that they'd probably at least do 3 reductions over the year 2024. If we can find some 5s, I think there's some calmness to this storm finally.
So call the only agent I would call if I needed to sell my home. It's Nate Evans with eXp Realty, 217-239-7113, or do an online search to Nate Evans Group to start packing.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to theNateEvansGroup.com.
Jets is hiring. Call 217-352-9992 or stop into 1907 West Springfield Avenue near Round Barn in Champaign. Jets is open till 10 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays till midnight. Are you looking for a side hustle? Here's Josh from Jets talking about the benefits of doing deliveries.
When I was a delivery driver, it was amazing how much the actual amount of money I had just shot right up. It's hard to describe. You have money in your pocket every single day.
For details on joining the team, visit jetspizza.com.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. President Biden was back on the campaign trail yesterday, speaking at the NAACP convention in Las Vegas. Comments about black jobs raised eyebrows in last month's presidential debate. So the president came up with an answer to what exactly a black job is.
Folks, I know what a black job is. It's the Vice President of the United States.
The speech came as Republicans gathered in Milwaukee for night 2 of the Republican National Convention. And there are calls for the New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez to step down after he was convicted on all counts in his federal corruption trial, accused of accepting bribes and acting as a foreign agent for the Egyptian government.
I have never, ever been a foreign agent, and the decision rendered by the jury today would put at risk every member of the United States Senate.
The Democrat plans to appeal. America's listening to Fox News.
God Almighty intervened because America is one nation under God, and he is certainly not finished with President Trump.
That was Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the governor of Arkansas, Republican National Convention, with a whole lot of energy. J.D. Vance, picked as vice president for Donald Trump, will speak tonight. He is in Milwaukee. He helped build the platform accepted by the Republican National Committee. President of the Eagle Forum, Legal Defense Fund, a shaker, a baker, a dream maker. Ed Martin, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Great to be with you guys. You know what stinks, though? I love the All-Star game, and so I was torn last night watching speeches and trying to watch the baseball All-Star game and root against the Brewers. It's nice to be in Milwaukee and root against the Brewers. They're not even playing, but I'm rooting against them. So anyway, it's a lot going on. A lot going on.
Brother Johnny, Bible study in New Orleans, Louisiana. Johnny?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, Eddie, you're doing a great job up there. I'm giving you credit for it.
Yeah,
it looks good. Going well.
Aren't you essentially the number 3 man at this convention? Aren't you?
I've been. Hey, here's the fun thing. Here's a detail nobody in America knows. I'll probably get in trouble. The operations for the campaign and everybody, the RNC, for the actual logistics of the convention, which is in the Milwaukee Bucks Fiserv Arena up here, and that's where everything's going on, the big stage and all. The actual operations center, the guys running things, and I'm in there most days for part of the day, is in the Milwaukee Bucks locker room.
Huh?
They have this incredible locker room that they actually they hit a button and it locks, it closes all the lockers, and it's this big, wide open, beautiful room. It's high ceilings and all, and so the actual ops center for the Republican National Convention is in the Milwaukee Bucks locker room. So that's kind of fun. So I'm sitting at the table looking at the lockers behind the main guy running things. So, yeah, pretty cool.
All right, Ed Martin, how did the world change on Saturday at 6:11 p.m. in Pennsylvania?
Well, I know you guys, we talk a lot together about God and faith and all, and I was having dinner with my family, and someone texted me, and stupidly I had my phone, but I was home from the convention for 3 days, just snuck home, and they said there's shots fired at the Trump rally, and I went and watched it. I watched it the rest of the night. I always thought he had a special place in our lives, meaning Donald Trump. Not him. God had a plan. I'm not a dramatic guy with that kind of language, but he was born and raised on Norman Vincent Peale's, Power of Positive Thinking, which is a Christian scripture-based sense of how we all are created by God and have a purpose. And I just thought, this is an extraordinary guy. Seems like a wild, New Yorker and all that stuff, but that at the heart of it was something really special that was Christian. It was Christ's thing. And you look at this now, the details. He turned his head, and there were 3 shots that went past his head. And when he got into the arena the other night, 2 nights ago, the first time he had been out, and he walked in there, and he was maybe 100 yards away. And I've seen him a lot. I've been in a room with him a bunch, but he looked different. He looked like a man that had been touched in a way that was different. So I don't know what it means, and Lord knows we'll go back to being broken vessels down here on earth, but it's an extraordinary moment of grace, and I think we have to sort of honor that and see where it takes us. And politically, in a campaign, it's game over. The guy won't lose this election, but there's a lot that the devil and the Democrats, but I repeat myself, are going to do.
Well, and you're right. He did look different. He looked a little tired. He looked humble. He's actually emotional, Stevie. I actually think he had tears in his, which I've never seen that.
No.
And he says he's going to kind of pivot over to more of a unity thing, and maybe he'll cut back on some of the funny insults, which are probably getting less funny now. And I hope so. And I thought that the speakers at the convention were great last 2 nights. Steve Scalise did a great job, Steve.
Yeah,
he's
a good guy there.
He did a great job.
And is there any way to describe the energy in the room when Donald Trump walks in?
Well, 2 things. Right now, no. I was there last night again when he came in the arena. I've been in one room when he came in the room with only maybe 100 people or 80 people. So I've been 3 times in his presence. The first one, as Johnny said, was it Monday night? He was near tears, I thought. So was the whole place. I've very rarely been in a setting like that. It was so broadly, like, shared emotion together, almost like when you're at a funeral and everybody's there for a loved one. You all share that emotion. It's just hard to describe. So it was extraordinary. And look, I mean, especially here, there's never been. I've never seen energy like this. I've never seen political, but also just people energy. And the only thing, I'm just Irish enough that the light at the end of the tunnel is a freight train. I'm saying to myself, the election's too far off. Everybody's kind of feeling very good, but there's a million details to do and a million things to talk about. And frankly, listening, when we worked on the platform, and I am proud that we passed it, and it's a great document. We went from 35,000 words in the 2020 platform down to 5,000. So as I joke with people, every issue you care about, somebody lost some words. And so when you're grieving, we all lost words to get there. But it was dedicated to the forgotten man and forgotten woman of America. And that's the thing. With all the stuff we're seeing, all the talk we're having, there's a lot of us in this country just feel like things haven't been going the right direction, and we need that energy to go the different direction. I think that's part of what you're feeling, and Trump is channeling. So, but it matters. We're having big conversations about energy and all. People still have too high gas and too high food prices, and schools aren't doing the right thing. So we've got to get going. But I think there's a sense of. It's what I say. This is the best of America. When you see people that care about each other, they don't have to hug each other, but they care about each other, and it's I think a real extraordinary moment.
No, I agree, and it does seem to be genuinely unified over in the Republican camp, and that's a lot of power. And meanwhile, Eddie, I have to ask you, what's Joe going to end up doing? I don't know if he can hang on.
No, he's hanging on. I wish you guys beat me down. I think it was you, John, the last few weeks, and I was like, well, maybe he will. Maybe he will leave. Maybe he will leave. He's never leaving. He said the other day, if God Almighty came down and told him he'd leave. Then the other day he said, if a freight train hit me, I'd leave. And so, Democrats, if they pray to God, they're praying to God to come with a freight train because they can't get this guy. He's not going anywhere. He's addicted. He loves the power. I'm a hard time to say this, but I'm going to say maybe he's not an evil man because God didn't make evil men. He made men that act evil. But he's really, and he's old now. So, but that's not an excuse. The stuff he's doing and the stuff he's saying as he's going down, as his career is ending, and the Biden name will be said as a 4-letter epithet in the future. He's going down in such that NAACP speech that you played, Stevie, the details of it. It's just nasty lies. And nasty, demeaning. To say black jobs, he needed to say not black jobs, there's Kamala. He needed to say jobs that give people that are, have less means and opportunity up. But he can't say that because it's a lie. So he's going down. He's lying about Trump. It's a disgrace, and it's evil that his family is allowing it to happen. But he's going nowhere, and the Democrats know it. they're now starting to play for how do we block Trump in the courts? How do we block his nominees? Now, I think it's way too early for that, but that the Democrats are resigned. He will not quit unless they get him to die, and I wouldn't put it past that somehow he dies. I really wouldn't. Honestly.
Well, I hope he doesn't, and I will say, Stevie, he's back to. I inherited 9% inflation.
Yeah.
He just said that again the other day. And
really?
He went back to the South Carolina thing, which is then don't talk about that, Joe. That didn't happen. So I don't. I think he's desperate, but Eddie, I hope you're right. I'd like to see that rematch. So,
Ed, what was your take on J.D. Vance, the Ohio senator who is now Donald Trump's vice presidential candidate?
Well, I'm not sure this is anything too thoughtful, but I haven't heard it quite like this. I think he was able to pick J.D. Vance in part because of the assassination attempt. In other words, he had enough political capital. He could pick whoever he really wanted. He didn't have to play to any sense of how will this play out. He just picked who he wanted. A couple things. I did hear a rumor. I don't know if it's at all true, but I did hear a rumor that Ben Carson, to try to defend myself, that he that was the guy I wanted. That he was offered the spot and he didn't take it, and it was because he didn't think it was the right thing for him to do. That probably is apocryphal or wishful thinking. But now look, J.D. Vance is really smart. He's the forgotten man. He's a guy that came from. Here's the thing. In America right now, a common experience is that the difficulties of family, which is true in every family. We're fallen. We are sinful. Therefore, our families are hard. It's not an easy thing. But the difficulties of family in America in the last 40 years have been more public. Divorces and separated families. And J.D. Vance grew up in a very hard upbringing with a mother who was married multiple times, and he had 7 or 8 stepdads and all. And he made it. And he made it to Yale Law School. And he joined the Marine Corps. And he's smart as can be. He married a really nice looking and bright Indian American. So he's the American dream for a guy like Trump. Trump sees that as what makes America work. And so I think he'll be fine. I think he's very smart. I think he's pretty solid on the issues. I think I like everything about him, but I think some people will be like, well, he's a little bit more this or that. But again, here's what he really is. He came from that part of the country where he can say to people, look, I know how hard it is, but what you can't do is wait for some handout or help from people that don't really believe in you. Let's make it so the barriers get out of your way. I think that's going to resonate. I think it'll be fine. And look, Trump picked a guy that could actually give a better speech than Trump gives, which is amazing. Trump, you thought, would be picking the quieter guy and the guy to stand next to him like Pence did. So I think it's exciting, and I think it's going to be and Silicon Valley, by the way, is coming on hard now, which is, people say, oh, what does it matter? It's a lot of money. Because what's his name? Vance has ties there, especially, and they're coming on strong. So momentum is picking up. Silicon
Who's
Valley.
coming on?
Silicon Valley. Yeah, big money coming in to say we like the direction you're doing here, and they've been holding back because they're all liberal politically, socially, and but so. That's a big factor, actually. Elon Musk said he's going to give $45 million a month for the next 4 months to get out the vote for Republicans. So these things are moving the right way.
Well, and I don't know a whole lot about J.D. Vance. I was not thinking he would pick J.D. Vance. I think he feels like he's more in line, Stevie, with the MAGA, which, as Eddie said, really he doesn't need any help there, but somebody who he can trust, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he's right. I can't tell you much about JD. We'll see. And he speaks tonight. So here's his big speech to the convention on Wednesday, and then Trump's tomorrow.
He looks very, very comfortable in his own skin, very confident. And,
That's right.
and again, from where he came, with no father essentially, and a drug-addicted mother, and a grandma who was strong. But yeah, it's incredible. And so when he debates Kamala Harris, who had 2 PhD parents, I mean, you're thinking, well, who came from the tough background? It's J.D. Vance.
I don't know if I'd try to get out of that if I was Kamala, but I didn't see. Look, I didn't see the Hillbilly Elegy movie or read the book, but apparently there was a movie that Ron Howard made about a J.D. Vance book called Hillbilly
That's the
Apology.
movie. Yeah, that's the movie. Yeah, America's going to probably watch that, and I think there will be a lot of people watching tonight. 7:45, a few more minutes with Ed Martin, Brother Johnny. Ed's in Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention, which winds up tomorrow night with President Trump. And I told Johnny earlier this week, Ed, man, if he could just, because he does look different. He looks tired. He looks like a 78-year-old that went through an assassination attempt and got hit. And he looks, but he does look different. I heard a woman on TV today said, I was going to hold my nose and maybe vote for Trump, but he looked different. He looked humble. He looked different to me. Yeah. And I love J.D. Vance, so I'm voting for Trump. And there's probably a lot of people that have made that transition. The question is, he doesn't need the crooked Joes. He doesn't need the worst president in history. We don't need that right now. If he could come out and unify in a way that is actually presidential, I think it'd just be a nonstop arrow up, Ed.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, we're now talking a little bit of politics just in campaigns, you know, and not to go on what I was just doing, but I'll do that. The platform came out last week, and there was a fight, and the complaints were from the hard right. You know, as you guys know, I am the hard right. So the complaints coming from the hard right, they help Trump. They help Trump look more moderate, right? So you can't be a hard right, crazy right-winger if the right-wingers are mad at you. And likewise, I think what you're saying is for these 5 days since the shooting, he has been quieter. His tweets have not been, or his truths have not been wild, you know, kind of attacking and all. And again, he's benefiting from how the public feels. I got a buddy of mine who's really conservative, but he just can't stand Trump's personality. And he texted me and said, okay, I'll vote for him, you know, because this is too much. And like you said, so I just will just warn, I don't know if it's possible for the guy to hold off forever. Because in politics and campaigns, you still got they're gonna spend about $500 million saying that Donald Trump is a really evil man, and the reason they're going to do it is because it works. And so you've got to believe that you need to make sure that people realize that it's Joe Biden's fault. You can't just say, "Look, I'm a good guy, I'm humble." You got to make sure that you know it's his fault and Biden's fault, and put the negatives on him. So it's still going to become a street fight down the stretch. But I think what you're seeing in this time period, people are taking in, and they're saying, "Okay." And last thing I'll say is, sometimes people need a reason to say they're for the guy. It doesn't have to even be a real reason. I heard someone call it a fake because. You know, because he got almost assassinated, I'm for him. They need a fake reason to be able to explain to their cousin Earl why they're now for Trump, right? And they say, you know, I just decided that he picked a guy who seemed like a young guy and he could take over. That's why I'm for him, right? So I think he's giving people a lot of becauses, and that's what you do in politics. You keep broadening the number who can say I'm with you.
Well, I'll tell you a reason, Eddie. You can't name too many other presidential candidates who could get the Teamsters president to come speak at the Republican convention. And that was interesting because that's a unification thing that hasn't ever happened, 120 years of Teamsters. And it also kind of said to the rank and file who like Trump in many cases that, you know, it's okay to vote for him. I'm all for the worker, whatever works for the worker. Mm-hmm. And I think the Teamsters president was sending a message to the Democrats. But look, that's the kind of thing, it's better to talk like that amongst each other than just keep shouting back.
Well, guys, I'm not to dwell on too much, but the Republican Party's changed. And one of the things that changed was the free trade deals that were making multinational corporations succeed. That was a bad policy for working people. So if you're a Teamster, forget about the public sector unions, right? Those are impossible to satisfy because they just want the system rigged, government taxes to pay. But Teamsters want to work. Republicans want work. We want good work. We want American work. We want American manufacturing. So I think it works. By the way, guys, just in case we run out of time, I don't want you to turn off Stevie Jay Show tomorrow, but I'm on C-SPAN's Washington Journal tomorrow at 8:30 Central Time. So you can tune in and see on that, you know, Washington Journal, the C-SPAN morning show where they talk. I think I'm going to go on for a half an hour talking about the platform and all. So don't just record it. Don't turn off Stevie Jay Show.
No. You need Ed Martin, Johnny. Ed's, you know, Ed. How about I appoint you Attorney General? What do you think? Come on,
man. That sounds good. I can't get confirmed. You know, they play back the tapes in my show, Stevie Jay Show, and they'll say, "Yeah, sorry, Mr. Martin, we're not confirming you." You know,
there you go.
That's the way that goes. You
may have a point there.
So they're doing. J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are going to Oklahoma here in a few days. It's another rally. However, it is inside. Do you think he'll do any more outside rallies?
Well, I asked that question in a room with some of the guys that know, and they said he will. But that this is going to surprise you. But they'll do a better job of sealing the perimeter a little further out. So, you could do an outdoor. I wouldn't, because I actually thought when I first saw it, I thought it was a drone. I couldn't figure out where the shot came from, and I couldn't believe that somebody was on a roof that close. So I thought somebody's got a drone. Now, someone told me later, you can clear the sky of drones, but I don't think it's as easy as you think. And so I would not do it, because you can still get a crowd and control it in terms of the temperature even. So, but I think he will. I think he will. I don't think he is going to shy away from that, and it'll just be a security thing. We haven't even talked, guys, about the Secret Service. Whatever the reasons, this was as the only failure. Well, this is the worst failure ever, other than JFK or somebody being killed. But in terms of incompetence, and it's up there, by the way, with an interesting one. I'll tell you, Kamala Harris went into the DNC on January 6th, 2021, when there was a pipe bomb right there, and they missed it. And people said to me, why did they miss it? And the answer was, she was not in line. If you're not in the government, the president or vice president, she was just a vice president-elect. Donald Trump's only a former president. I mean, you know what I mean? That's how the Secret Service acts. They care about the guy in power. I remember I was chief of staff to the governor, and I said to the Highway Patrol, "What do I need to do to help you guys protect him?" And they said, "Sir, we like you a lot, but get out of the way. You're not. We don't care about you. We're going to protect him." Yeah. So, but that was a huge failure. The Secret Service that we can't even begin to understand.
No, exactly.
Well, bear in mind it was 1981 when something really happened. So they're going along 43 years. None of those people were born when they actually did a real attempt on that level of politician or leader. And so they were not. When it happens for real, you can practice for the last 20 years for your whole career, but when it's real, it's real. And so I don't know how it could ever be that much different, because it's always like, you wait for it, you wait for it, you wait for it, it never happens, and then boom, there it is.
And you know what? We saw a miracle. There's no question about it. Donald Trump in the hand of God. He turned his head, otherwise he would be dead. And so we're thankful for the fact that failed, and we move on. But Ed, in Milwaukee, can people follow you in some way? What do they do?
Yeah. At Eagle Ed Martin on X is really the best way right now. At Eagle Ed Martin, which is on X, and then, like I said, C-SPAN from 8 to 8:30 Central Time. 8 to 8:30. I don't know what I said, but 8 to 8:30 tomorrow. You can see me on Washington Journal or whatever it's called. So that'll be fun. And ProAmericaReport.com. I do some blogging and stuff out of there. But best thing to do is tune in next Wednesday and get the rundown from the week with Stevie Jay and Johnny.
Yep.
Hey, Eddie, I got one comment about the Secret Service. They should probably put this in. If you, Stevie, or I apply to be body shields, just they'll look it up for Trump and say, "Yeah, no, you guys aren't big enough. You can't do that stuff. You're not big enough."
Yeah, true. Yeah, you want some big, tall people around the president.
Yeah, don't make it a boy-girl thing. Just make it large enough. You got to be 6'4" and about 240.
Well, especially for Trump,
that's fine.
Yeah, I could have done John Adams. I think he was 5'2", but Trump, I couldn't do Trump.
Too big. Hey, guys, thank you so much. Johnny, back to praying for us here in America.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank
Good
you.
job up there.
Thanks,
yes,
Ed.
Sir.
Good
God
work.
Bless
God bless America. Thank you, Ed Martin and Brother Johnny, ESPN 93.5 on the Tapman's Towing phone line. A Spirited Talk this morning, live from Milwaukee for Ed Martin at the Republican National Convention. Democrats get their turn next month up in Chicago. 7:54, we turn to our weather, brought to you by Carl.
Cross your child's early physical exam off your back-to-school list. Make an appointment at a convenient location near you. Visit carl.org.
Well, we get everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign Event is Saturday. Nice spell of weather ahead for mid-July over the next couple of days. A slow drop on humidity and dew points for the day today, setting up some real comfortable weather tomorrow, Friday, and a good part of the weekend. And boy, we need the quiet time around here to assess recent storm damage, flooding, rainfall. Boy, some big numbers, almost 10 inches of rain east of East St. Louis yesterday morning and afternoon. So flooding going on there, back towards Illinois and Mississippi Valley and sections off to the east as well. We may be back into a weather pattern from south to north over some of those wetter areas of the Corn Belt early to mid next week. Maybe a few sprinkles of rain this afternoon to the east and south Champaign County. Partly sunny skies. Northwesterly breeze will freshen up to 82 for the day-to-day. Air cooler tonight down to 58. Sunny, pleasant for the day. Tomorrow, much lower humidity and a high at 76. Low to mid-50s tomorrow night. Mostly sunny, 78 for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Highs up near 80 with more rain ahead due in late Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting Agriculturist, Greg Soldier.
Well, it's our friend Steve Suderman. He's a good advised. He's been there for a minute. Nice to have you back on the program, Steve. I mean, there are very few people that can say I worked at a place over 50 years, Steve.
It's true, because most of us would just drop dead from it. But,
well, all right, so you...
I mean, in the last month, we have had an assassination attempt, a derecho, cicadas, fires out west, record temperatures out east, floods everywhere. In the midst of all of this, there is coming the Olympics.
Yeah.
Something that unites the country, something that unites the world to some degree, from the city of love. And I can't wait for this. It's 18 days of me watching TV and rooting for Americans and American teams, and occasionally some stars from other countries that I like. And the only violence that I expect to see happen is going to be boxing, and that's got rules. So
there you go.
It's and there's fair play everywhere. Not so sure about the Chinese, but the gymnastics and all that. It's such good stuff. A lot of this is going to be in 4K. I know that Fubo is going to be broadcasting it that way or streaming it that way. DirecTV likewise will be both streaming and satelliting it out in 4K. Dish said they're going to do something. They're pretty vague on what it is yet. But if you or your TV don't know how to get this content that way, or your TV service can't deliver it to you that way, we can help with either the TV or the TV service so that you can watch this, spectacular every 4-year thing that happens that does in fact unite us like nothing else.
Yeah.
And we'll probably recommend an OLED TV to watch it on. If you really want to go for it all, that 98-inch TV, this month only, ending on the 28th, is on sale for $3,000 off.
What, the 8-footer?
Yeah. Sony wanted to test the waters with this thing. Samsung's got one, too. LG hasn't gone there yet, but they've got this $8,000 TV that now you can get for $5,000. It's $49.99 till the 28th, and then it's never going to be that price again. They said point blank, we can't afford to build them for that, but we want to see what the sales are like.
Well, I think you'll get some sales on that, and your 3 guys will have to come to my house, right? I mean, that's a big
deal.
It
is a 3-man job.
Well, and it's 8 feet, so it would replace my projector TV, I guess.
It would replace most screen and projector arrangements with a brighter picture that doesn't require dark curtains and all that stuff.
I can't imagine the picture. What is the picture like on an 8? I mean, describe it. It's crazy.
Well, first of all, it's a full array panel, so it's got high contrast. It's a great big Sony TV, so the picture's going to be good. What has surprised everybody is it's pretty nearly great. It's not like those 65-inch OLEDs. Nothing looks as good as that to my eye. But boy, oh boy, there's nothing beats big, and throw that up with a surround sound system around it, because all this is going to be broadcasted.
And
5.1.
Getting so ridiculously affordable now. So how can people come and look?
We are easy to find at 2010 Round Barn. You can look on gvibes.com and see what we've got and what the prices are. And then come visit us in person, or you can call me at 3510909.
Awesome.
You got something there?
I'm good.
Okay, here we go.
What are we digging out?
Steve was unloading boxes.
From the archives.
Elton John had to be booming out of your radio when you
love it.
Went and got all those boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Started a good vibe. There's all kinds of great songs in that
power
era.
trio with, gosh, I can't remember their names, but just a piano, drums, and a bass.
Yeah.
That was great stuff.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Steve Suderman, always a pleasure. Keep it going. And, man, $49.99 for 90
I know it.
As Ted Baxter
Christmas
used to say.
in July.
Oh, Lou.
Yeah,
oh,
just
Lou.
like that.
Exactly.
Okay, my friend. Always a pleasure, Steve. Thank you.
All right. Take care, guys.
Talk soon. Man, the Olympics in 4K OLED. Yeah. I don't know what an 8-foot TV would look like, but it'd be pretty nice. All right, another hour coming up of the program. Thank you for listening. Stand by. The news will be next. Weather with Greg Solier. We'll get the latest on what he sees on the maps.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be beautiful. Opening of the Champaign County Fair.
That's right.
Stand by for all that. News next. Thanks for listening. This is July 17, ESPN 93.5. There's Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
And I'm Stevie Jay. 8 o'clock. You're listening to WSJK, ESPN 93.5, Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Uniting around former President Trump. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Let's heed the call of our party's nominee to fight for these United States.
Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, who both ran against the former president, backed him at the convention last night.
You don't have to agree with Trump 100% of the time to vote for him.
Fighting crime, stopping illegal immigration, a focus last night. The theme, Make America Safe Again.
Now, we also heard from everyday Americans last night. That includes the half-sister of Rachel Morin. She's the Maryland mom who was raped and murdered by an illegal alien.
Fox's Bill Malugin at the convention in Milwaukee.
The theme today is Make America Strong Again. We once again expect to hear from those everyday Americans. One speaker expected tonight is a Jewish alum of Harvard University who is suing the school for discrimination as a result of those anti-Israel protests.
Also tonight, Senator J.D. Vance will speak, accepting the GOP vice presidential nomination. President Biden will address Latino supporters in Las Vegas the day after he told the NAACP convention there that former President Trump's policies were hell for black Americans. But some Democrats are still concerned about the president's mental fitness, considering a replacement candidate. Fox's Ryan Schmelz reports.
A letter has been circulating among congressional Democrats claiming it would be a terrible idea for the DNC to move forward with a virtual roll call to nominate President Biden as early as next week, well before the party convention that starts on August 19th. The Biden campaign has defended the plan as a way to ensure President Biden stays on the ballot in all 50 states.
However, a pre-convention ballot issue in Ohio has since been resolved. President Biden is considering reforming the Supreme Court, including a new code of ethics and also calling for term limits on justices, which would require congressional approval. America's listening to Fox News.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit NoTimeToWait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
We're just learning this morning, days after the Trump assassination attempt, that the Homeland Security Department's Inspector General is going to evaluate the Secret Service security process for that rally. The Secret Service Director will testify at a hearing in the House on Monday. Kimberly Cheadle. Republican Senator Roger Marshall tells Fox Business.
How is this lady qualified to be the head of the Secret Service? What was her qualifications?
Now, as for the shooting that wounded the former president and left a rally attendee dead in Pennsylvania, 2 others seriously injured, Fox's Brian Yennis reports.
We now know that the would-be assassin was on the roof around 2 minutes before those first shots were fired at former President Trump at 6:11 p.m. Fox can confirm that rally-goers going into the event flagged local police about a suspicious person apparently acting strangely and pacing near the metal detectors, which set off a search. The question now is, when did this search begin? When was the Secret Service notified? And was it before the former president took the stage?
This as investigators keep trying to figure out why the now dead gunman Thomas Matthew Crooks did it. Now, we've also since learned there was a Trump assassination plot by Iran uncovered in recent weeks by U.S. intelligence.
Development that led to the Secret Service increasing security around the former president.
Now, other members of former President Donald Trump's national security team have had a security detail since Trump ordered the droning of Iran's most powerful general, Qasem Soleimani, who's responsible for killing hundreds of American soldiers during the Iraq War.
That's Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. On Wall Street, stocks could fall. NASDAQ futures down 300 points. They're also down for the Dow, the day after the Dow hit a record high. Baseball's all-stars shine last night. In Texas, none brighter than a Boston Red Sox.
Here's the high fly ball off of the bat. And that one will leave the yard and give the American League its first lead of the night.
And the AL held on to it, beating the National League 5-3 on Fox. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. U.S. Geological Survey confirming that an earthquake hit DeKalb County. A 3.4 magnitude quake was reported early Monday about 1 mile northwest of Somonauk. People in the area reported weak or light shaking, but the good news, there was no damage. Champaign County coroner is identifying an Alabama man who died following a July 4th motorcycle crash on I-57 in Effingham. Russell Bright died at the hospital last Friday. It happened on the ramp from U.S. Route 45 to northbound I-57. His death is under investigation. U.S. Senator Dick Durbin says it's a miracle Donald Trump's still alive. Illinois Democrat spoke to reporters about the failed assassination attempt of former President Trump. Durbin said he has no idea how the shooter able to get on a roof that was in firing range of the former president. The senator adds they've been able to reflect on the rhetoric that's being said about one another. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
A friend of mine just told me that he's out on his patio drinking coffee, listening to us, and for the first time in a while, he's not sweating. So that's good news.
Nice.
That's very nice.
A beautiful morning.
Our weather brought to you this morning by Kramer Siding and Window.
Your premier provider for home improvements, specializing in siding, windows, doors, roofing, and outdoor living. Visit KramerSiding.com.
Yes, meteorologist Greg Solier. I hope you have a chance to rest a little bit from these active maps for a while, huh?
Yeah, there's always stuff to do in the old weather office, playing catch up, assessing where really things stand from a crop standpoint. And, when we look at some of the corn crop areas actually across the entire country, and especially centered through the eastern plains into the eastern corn belt, about 68, almost 70% of the corn crop is doing very good, very well. And of course, a lot of asterisks in various areas of the country earlier on in the summertime season through the upper Midwest because of flooding. Currently back across southern reaches of the Corn Belt, Mississippi Valley locales, down into the southwestern reaches of the Corn Belt, towards and south of I-70 into Missouri. So, yeah, there's still some problematic areas going on, but at least the heat is winding on down. It has done so, and humidity continues to drop. A little tertiary boundary settling out of northern Illinois, even drop dew points, those measures of atmospheric moisture further. So there'll be more people out on their patio during the late afternoon and or early morning, enjoying this fine spell of mid-July weather. A little more humidity and more rain back in the forecast for some of the eastern and southern Corn Belt locales next week. For some, that's good. Others, not so good. In any event, 74 now at Willard and Savoy, 72 at Rantoul, and some patchy mid-level cloud around. That's it. We're surrounded by sun over the remainder of east central Illinois, so partly to mostly sunny. Still can't rule out a sprinkle from Champaign to the east and south this afternoon, with high temperature that stays pretty comfortable for the time of year at around 82, down to 58 tonight, mid-70s tomorrow, 78 on Friday, closing in on 80 for the weekend. Humidity in check. That begins to climb, along with shower chances late Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting and meteorologist Greg Solier.
Ever wonder why you pay your bank to have a checking account? Fisher National Bank does too. They offer free rewards cashback checking that gives you cash back on debit card purchases with no service fees or balance requirements. Simply make 12 debit card purchases, receive electronic statements, and one direct deposit in a monthly cycle. It's so simple. Reward yourself today with rewards cashback checking. Learn more at any branch of Fisher National Bank or visit FisherNational.com. Fisher National Bank, exceptional communities, exceptional people, member FDIC.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
Stevie Jay here. With Nate Evans of eXp Realty, you'll always get a stress-free sale for the most money.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to theNateEvansGroup.com.
Tapman's Towing, team of experienced tow professionals, is seeking others with CDLs, previous tow experience, and or strong interest in serving others. Please visit our career page at tapmanstowing.com.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Find the look you love for less at Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Explore their wide selection of quality pieces, from cozy sofas to exquisite dining sets from all the top name brands. With personalized service and expert advice, their team makes finding the perfect piece effortless. Create the home of your dreams with Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Exceptional customer service and the best prices since 1959. Stop by today or visit them online at kelseyfurniture.com.
Ow! A spring just hit me.
Mom, the couch is broken again.
It's about time we get rid of that clunky couch and look into buying a new one.
What about two men in a junk truck? Their professional moving team does a great job assisting with downsizing, home renovations, and clearing out old items you need hauled away.
Wow, it sounds like it'll make much more space in this house once the couch is hauled away.
I just pulled it up on my phone. You can schedule an appointment online at twomeninajuncktruck.com.
Jesse with Land's Underground Solutions here. Hey, we come across customers every single day that they've had one or two, maybe three companies there and have been told their sewer line or drain line's broke. The homeowner's getting ready to spend money, and then they call us, we show up, we stick a camera in the line, and we're able to show them the inside of the pipe, what the problem really is. Then we can offer you solutions to deal with this, and now you are in control of this decision. That is Land's Drain Cleaning and Underground Solutions' mission. Provide good, honest, upfront solutions to customers and let them make the decision.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window. New roofing and siding are a winning combination that can instantly change the look, feel, and function of your home. Our Kramer Siding and Window team takes pride in being an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, able to offer a best-in-the-business 50-year warranty. Pair it with preservation siding in your favorite style and color, and your home will be a showstopper. Start today and save 10% on roofing and 25% on siding. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
In an ever-changing real estate market, it is so important to work with experienced agents like Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor teams at Taylor Realty Associates. They have the knowledge and expertise to get your home sold for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Trust the experience and success of Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor team at Taylor Realty Associates. Give them a call today at 217-355-0700 or visit them online at taylorboys.com. That's taylorboys.com.
Check your sports headlines. Diane Ducey on ESPN 93.5.
Well, I know Jaron Duran got that two-run homer off Cincinnati Reds pitcher Hunter Green. And I know you're not necessarily a Cincinnati Reds fan, but you are a Jacob Hurtubise fan.
Yeah, I'm a big Jacob Hurtubise fan.
When he was on the team roster for just over a month, huh?
Yeah, 5-6 weeks.
From mid-May to mid-June.
Yeah.
But Jaron, a Boston Red Sox player, MVP for the game as the American League beat the National League 5-3.
At least they don't hinge it on who wins that game for home field at the end of the year. At least they don't do that anymore.
I mean, what is the incentive?
Best record.
Okay.
And the incentive of playing this thing is just the honor.
Okay.
And see all your favorite players. Back when Willie Mays and Hank Aaron and Joe Torre and Willie McCovey, I kind of watched back then. That's been 50 years. So
I mean, those players probably get thrown a bone and a bonus or something. Huh?
Probably. But relative to their earnings now, back in the day when guys are making $50,000 a year to play baseball, then a $10,000 bonus meant something.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, huh? I make $14 million a year and I'm average. I mean, basketball, NBA basketball players, Dan, if you're any good at all, you get $50 million a year now.
It's crazy.
Jason Tatum is at the Boston Celtics, $80 million a year.
Right.
It's like $1 million a game. What? I mean, it's just so out there that little incentives. It used to be you win a Super Bowl, you get $34,000 bonus for each player. Well, that's back when they made about $50,000.
Right.
That was a real bonus.
We all are talking about baseball and some of the draft, news that we've been hearing. And J.J. Weatherholt, infielder from West Virginia, was picked number 7 for the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cubs with number 14, Cam Smith from Florida State, a third baseman. Illinois baseball had players in the draft, and Camden Janik, catcher, going to the Pittsburgh Pirates as pick number 354. Jack Crowder, a pitcher, going to the Baltimore Orioles, pick number 279. Boy, lots of players in the draft.
There's like 6 minor league teams for every baseball team.
Wow.
So there are just thousands of players, and that's such a different thing when they draft players in baseball. It's just a process that takes time. You don't jump up and go right to the major leagues. There's a kid named David Clyde back in the day. He was 18 years old, and the Texas Rangers brought him up. He pitched. 18 years old, David Clyde, look him up.
Okay.
Didn't work. It's too early.
Okay.
So.
Well, speaking of high schoolers, I know Pontiac High, Henry Brummel, 6'4", 205, went to the Brewers in the 20th round. Normal Community grad, ISU, then to Western Kentucky. Mason Burns in the 14th round went to the Cardinals. So that was some trending news I just thought I'd throw out there. We also had the Chicago Bears being talked about, meeting with J.B. Pritzker, talking about the renovations, the billions of dollars the Bears want from the state. And, of course, Bears practice on Saturday. So Caleb Williams has locked in his deal, and
ready to play.
See how it goes.
We'll have Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer. We're going to carry Bears football on radio.
Absolutely.
So if you are not able to watch and you're in the fields or you're driving around town on a Sunday, you'll be able to hear the Bears broadcast because you can't get them from here in Chicago. They moved to AM 1000, which is a little hard to get down here. ESPN AM 1000, I think. Anyway, so we'll have them on Q96. We're going to run that on our top 40 station for a top Bear team coming up, man.
That's right.
Come on, Bears. Let's go.
Do this.
Now we've got you invested in our business. Let's win some ball games. I hope Caleb Williams is really good. So I'll become kind of a mini Bear fan.
That's right.
Because I want them to win in the best interest of people that have interest in the Bears.
Absolutely.
So no losing anymore. We're going to start winning some ball games.
That's what happened when we acquired the St. Louis Cardinals.
Won the World Series first year. Anyway, I wonder if they'll let me talk to the team. Gentlemen, losing is a disease. It was from The Natural.
I see.
He tried to talk to the team that lost every game. They got some guy, and he's a counselor. Losing is a disease. All right, as retirement approaches, eliminating your house payment can seem obvious, but is paying off your mortgage the right decision? The experts at Busey Wealth Management and Busey Home Mortgage say, well, it kind of depends. If you keep the mortgage, your retirement savings remain intact. That's a good thing. And you get a tax deduction for the property taxes and stuff and interest. You'll have to carry the financial burden with you through retirement, though. What if you pay it off? Well, if you have enough cash to do it. If your retirement income is significantly reduced, if you want the peace of mind, and or if you don't want to leave your family with house debt, and hopefully you have equity in the house too, Busey experts advise against paying off your mortgage if it requires dipping into your 401. The experts at Busey are happy to guide you every step of the way. Stop by one of their many convenient locations or call 800-67-BUSEY or visit Busey.com. You can get it started today. Investment products and services not FDIC insured may lose value. No bank guarantee. Busey, equal housing lender. Well, our weather brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Kurt Lenschow. He can do all the home, all the auto. What about life insurance? Gives you tremendous peace of mind. I would suggest talking to Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Your Fox Business is coming up next. It's coming up on 819.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather for you. Central Illinois, Champaign Event has set a nice spell of weather ahead for mid-July over the next couple of days. A slow drop on humidity and dew points for the day-to-day, setting up some real comfortable weather tomorrow, Friday, and a good part of the weekend. And, boy, we need the quiet time around here to assess recent storm damage, flooding, rainfall. Boy, some big numbers, almost 10 inches of rain east of East St. Louis yesterday morning and afternoon. So flooding going on there, back towards Illinois, the Mississippi Valley, and sections off to the east as well. We may be back into a weather pattern from south to north over some of those wetter areas of the Corn Belt early to mid next week. Maybe a few sprinkles of rain this afternoon to the east and south Champaign County. Partly sunny skies. Northwesterly breeze will freshen up to 82 for the day-to-day. Fair cooler tonight down to 58. Sunny, pleasant for the day tomorrow. Much lower humidity and a high at 76. Low to mid-50s tomorrow night. Mostly sunny, 78 for Friday. Saturday and Sunday highs up near 80 with more rain ahead due in late Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting Agriculturist, Greg Solier.
I'm Susan Lee, and this is the Fox Business Report.
More new homes are going up. Housing starts. Groundbreakings for new houses rose 3% in June, and building permits for new construction rose 3.4%. The average for a 30-year mortgage slipped to 6.87% last week, the lowest level in 4 months. NASDAQ futures are slumping. Chip makers, including NVIDIA and Taiwan Semiconductor, are losing ground. So is chip machinery maker ASML, after a report saying the Biden administration is considering more severe restrictions on companies selling machinery to China. Also, former President Trump suggested in an interview he believes Taiwan should pay for U.S. protection. Johnson & Johnson shares are higher. Its business was stronger than expected in the recent quarter. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jimmy Cosola. Invested in you.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network. Listen to the all-new Bret Baier podcast featuring Common Ground, talking to lawmakers weekly from opposite sides of the political spectrum about the issues of the day and how Americans can find common ground in a politicized world.
That's just not happening on Capitol Hill. It takes leadership, right?
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Along with all your Bret Baier favorites like the campaign, the candidates, the all-star panel, and much more. Available now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people.
Well, if you're anywhere around Urbana's campus, middle school, high school, FCA is going to have their summer camp. It's going to be really busting at the seams. Sarah Hurst, you can't tell me your daughter's 8. She's a baby. I remember her as a baby. What the world happened, man?
She is. Time flew, but she's excited to come for the first time.
And don't you have a son too?
Yes, Sam's got a couple more years to wait.
Unbelievable. Where's time go, Sarah? Please tell me. Tell everybody. Where does time go?
I don't know.
Man.
Let me know when you find it, man.
I know. All right, FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. You guys are doing great work. What in the world? Are you surprised by like 900 kids?
No, we've learned to just embrace the chaos. This is year number 24, and I can't say it's ever gotten smaller from year to year. So we try to squeeze as many as we can in because it's free and it's sharing the love of Jesus. So why not?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also called resources. You need a bigger boat, Sarah.
We definitely do. It's the fish and the loaves with space over there, honestly. But we find a way and we get creative. It's not 900 all at one time, though. There's 2 different sessions. So young kids, about 450 of them, and then older kids later in the week.
That's really cool. So what are the dates and times? I might want to avoid Vine Street next week. Is that kind of what
You might. So we'll kick off on this coming Monday morning, July 22nd. We'll run all week. So, yeah, if you drive by, wave at the kids that are running around outside, and we'll be having a great time over there.
How about the coaching staff and the support that you get, Sarah Hurst?
Sure. It takes a village. We're thankful. Like I said, it's offered free. So the donors, the food donors, the people who give in-kind donations, the sponsors, the people who give up their time to coach and lead, we just really, really, really could not do it without people putting their arms around it. So we have over 100 plus, maybe closer to 200 volunteers throughout the week as well to make it happen. So we're really thankful.
Well, I mean, you're offering a free event. I mean, it's just, wow. That's so nice to figure all that out, because there's a lot to 900. I thought it'd be like, there'd be 50 people. Come on, kids. 900.
No, it's 900, and it's breakfast, lunch, it's T-shirt, water bottle. It's all kinds of good stuff. So, yeah, God has kept it going.
It's awesome. How will you feel a week from Friday?
I hope numb, because otherwise it'll be very painful. But it's always really satisfied and just excited to see what's happened during the week. So it's my favorite week of the year by far.
I love it. Okay, so obviously you have plenty of kids. You just want people to be aware of what's happening next week in Urbana. So is there a website we can learn more about Fellowship of Christian Athletes in general?
Sure, yes. If you go to IlliniLandFCA.org, you can find out about what's available all throughout the year. If this camp is of interest to you, you can sign up to get on the notification list next year so you don't miss the registration, as it fills up pretty quickly. Or if you follow us on Facebook and just want to see pictures from the week, we post constantly throughout the week so you can see what camp looks like. And that's just Illini Land on Facebook, okay. Illini Land FCA.
And so you get plenty of athletes to come, and that has some gravitas. I mean, if you have Illinois athletes going to be here, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And I think we're growing that number as well. I mean, when you get all the kids back and everything else, and a lot are here during the summer, I know, but it's wonderful to see how many athletes we have that are following Jesus. It's wonderful and inspiring.
Oh, absolutely. They inspire me, honestly. We have actually Adalia McKenzie with the women's basketball team is our intern this summer. We have a free clinic. Her last free clinic today is actually going on in Monticello this afternoon. So we're working with her. We're working with 8 other student college leaders in a new program this summer who are just going deeper in their faith and really living it out on their campus. So it's a joy to get to work with them.
I just think about how it was instrumental in my life as a young athlete growing up. It was so important to join Fellowship of Christian Athletes and have that kind of fellowship. We had our athletes, a special pod that kind of went off to the side and prayed before every game and things like that. Was that the same kind of story for you, Sarah?
Absolutely, yes. Sports were huge for me, and they were my identity for a long time. But then when I really understood that who I am is found in Christ and He defines me, it actually made sports even more fun to play them more freely. I didn't play less hard, but I did enjoy them more. And so something we say with our athletes all the time is that sports matter. They just don't define you. Jesus defines you, and then, man, you really have a light and a peace and a joy about you that you can show to people who need it. All around you. So people might not come to church right away, but they might come with a teammate to FCA, and they get to hear the good news of Jesus there as well.
It's awesome what you're doing. And you never know the ripple effect, Sarah Hurst, that you're having. So congratulations. You're doing some really good work and important work. And I'm so excited you got so many kids involved. Hey, listen, thank you again. It's Illini Land FCA. It's going to get crazy here in a couple of weeks when the U of I all gets back. So this is supposed to be kind of your downtime. What about the week after next? You're going to rest, or what happens there? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, we got to go put everything away. We've got to put all the equipment away and kind of decompress a little bit, but we'll have a little break, and then we'll welcome all the students back to campus.
I can confirm with your husband Noah that you talk in your sleep and you say, "Put the orange cones over there. The orange cones. Put the orange cones over there."
Yes. I have had a few day camp dreams already. Those always come.
Great to see you yesterday at the Tom Jones Challenger League. What a great night there at Eichelberger Field.
Tons of athletes out there just enjoying cheering everybody else on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, Sarah, keep up your good work. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. 829 ESPN 93.5.
IlliniLandFCA.com.
The news will be next. Another half hour of the program. A little more on the convention. The latest on Secret Service news. It's dizzying and head shaking. I just don't get it. Next.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. We are honored to be celebrating 15 years of service and want to thank all of our amazing clients for their confidence and trust. We look forward to meeting the needs of current and future clients in the years to come. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. You know, as much as I did my research, he has a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola.
At Pards and Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
News. I'm Therese Crowley. Make America Strong Again, the theme for the Republican National Convention Day 3, with former rivals speaking on a night of unity around nominee Donald Trump, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Let's heed the call of our party's nominee to fight for these United States.
Congressman Corey Mills tells Fox the assassination attempt on the former president amplifies today's theme.
We certainly have to investigate what just happened Saturday so that we can ensure confidence in the American people that this won't happen again against the President of the United States.
Meet Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance speaking at the convention tonight. And King Charles delivers the King's Speech in the UK Parliament, laying out the principles under new Labour Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Over there, security is number one. Fairness and opportunity for all. America is listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Champaign County coroner is identifying an Alabama man who died following a July 4th motorcycle crash on I-57 in Effingham. Russell Bright died at the hospital last Friday. It happened on the ramp from U.S. Route 45 to northbound I-57. His death is under investigation. U.S. Senator Dick Durbin says it's a miracle Donald Trump's still alive. Illinois Democrat spoke to reporters about the failed assassination attempt of former President Trump. Durbin said he has no idea how the shooter able to get on a roof that was in firing range of the former president. The senator adds they've been able to reflect on the rhetoric that's being said about one another. U.S. Geological Survey confirming that an earthquake hit DeKalb County. A 3.4 magnitude quake was reported early Monday about 1 mile northwest of Semonok. People in the area reported weak or light shaking, but the good news, there was no damage. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign, and vicinity. And the next in a series of frontal boundaries having pushed through the area, making its way out of East Central Illinois. Still may spark a shower later this afternoon, otherwise into a drier mode around here. And progressively cooler and less humid over the next couple of days. Very comfortable mid-July weather. Over the time frame of next week and probably a bit beyond, same boundary that'll push through the area begins to lift back northward along with Gulf moisture and warmth and back into a wetter pattern again early to mid next week. Maybe just a lone shower this afternoon to the east and south of Champaign County, in particular, partly sunny skies, turning less humid up to about 82 with a northwest to north wind 7 to 14 miles per hour and a bit gusty. Tonight, fair, cooler, 58, light north wind. Tomorrow, sunny, pleasant, up to 76 with a north wind. We'll bottom out in the low to mid 50s tomorrow night. Friday, sunshine and 78. Weekend forecast, sunny to partly cloudy skies. High temperature approaching 80 degrees. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Sticky nights and stuffy rooms making it hard to enjoy your home during the summertime? Call Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing to make sure your air conditioning is working at its peak performance. Tune up your AC by joining the maintenance program and get all the perks it has to offer. Call Dogtown to come out for a no-cost quote to upgrade your system today with a Lennox high-efficiency system that will be sure to save you money on your energy bills and let you relax comfortably. Call 217-841-4728 or visit dogtownheatingandair.com. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend.
Tapman's Towing reminds all Illini fans, when you're on the road and see lights flashing, move over and use caution passing. Let's all get home safe tonight.
All right, ESPN 93.5, it is 8:34. Final segment of our program. I'm Stevie Jay. That's Diane Ducey.
Hi.
Here we are with the aftermath of the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And Kimberly Cheadle, the head of the Secret Service, said that she didn't want to put anybody on the roof where the would-be assassin was because it was kind of steep, and it wasn't steep. It was not steep.
It looked more machine shed.
It was machine shed, and it would. What are you? It's a Secret Service. It's just like, okay, I'm not going to put a Navy SEAL up there because the roof's too steep. And by the way, the Secret Service agents will put their head in front of the president so they die, and not the president. It just was wow. I mean, it was bad enough, and now you're telling me that it just was a little unsafe, so they decided to put him inside where they couldn't see anybody on the roof. What is that talk?
I don't know.
They're going to be questioning her next week, and I'm a little bummed. She's from Danville, graduated Eastern Illinois, but she can't keep her work right now. And this is, remember the pilot that flew Bill Clinton into Willard?
Yes.
Got stuck in the mud?
Then got stuck because the runway... Yeah.
Guess who was sitting in the left seat after that? It wasn't him.
Right.
Aww. You don't make... Some spots...
Yeah.
That was just an embarrassment. That didn't kill anybody. And you want to be a Secret Service agent? You just can't have a failure like this. It's just stunning. And the fact that they're slow with information makes it worse. We need full transparency on what the heck happened where a kid could get a shot at the president of the United States. Well, we didn't have enough staff. We had Milwaukee. You got to do better. You can't fail at this. People die. Somebody died.
I just was reading something on reconstructing the tippy top of Trump's ear and what that would look like. Looks like it would cost around $10,000 if he would like to get that done.
These days, it might be outpatient. If they don't,
you're right.
Probably just numb the thing and have him sitting there with a bunch of people around him. And yeah, he'll probably do that. He's going to be pictured so much. You don't want all the eyes going to his ear. So it's, again, so blessed that he's not dead. I mean, the guy doesn't turn his head. He's done.
Right.
All right, 8:37 last night at the Republican National Convention. Everybody sounded pretty good to me. Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
God Almighty intervened because America is one nation under God, and he is certainly not finished with President Trump.
I thought she did great. Steve Scalise. Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, I think is really good.
And our message to Gen Z is this. You're going to be the generation that actually saves this country. You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative. Say you want to get married, have kids. Teach them to believe in God.
I mean, is that not true? If you work at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, are you walking around with a red hat on?
No.
Are you walking around saying, I'm going to vote for Trump?
No.
You're hiding those.
No. And, to me, no bumper sticker, no nothing.
I mean, that's feels weird.
Maybe even avoid wearing red.
No,
in any way.
I mean, and if you're a person voting for Donald Trump, are you telling your professor that you're a Trump supporter?
No way.
Will that hurt your grade?
I mean, it should be unbiased, but
if somehow in an interview and casual talk as you're leaving, you say, "Boy, we need somebody new in the White House," is that going to help or hurt you? Is it going to hurt you?
Yeah, you're just not going to say it.
We just can't be like that. If you want Biden, good for you, God bless you. You want Trump, good for you, God bless you. Why is that such a... It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be this way when particularly government's involved in funding these places.
Pledge allegiance to their country. Because you know what? Fear has been infectious in this country, but courage can be contagious too. That too is what it means to be an American.
And to have hope.
And our message to Gen Z is this.
I didn't mean to replay that.
But courage can be contagious too. That too is what it means to be an American.
Well, and I think that's the thing is, can you imagine having hope to believe that money's going to get better and looser, interest rates are going to come down, gas prices are going to come down? That's the hope of a new administration. People that are going to say, we're all for electric and we're all for clean eventually, but we can't do it by 2030. We got to go slow. And there's an argument to be made. We make all these cutbacks and hurt everybody financially, and China and India aren't doing anything. And they're most of it. They got 4 billion people in those two countries alone. We need everybody on the page. We need to lead the way. I'm fine with leading the way to a certain extent, but when it hurts everybody financially. You want people to pay $4 and $5 for gas regularly? It hurts you at the pump every time you go. And then grocery prices, all these things, the inflation stuff. And Joe Biden, again, apparently said that he inherited 9% inflation. It was 1.4. Back to Vivek. Here we go.
And you know what? If you're at home and you disagree with everything I just said, our message to you is this. We will still defend to the death your right to say it, because that is who we are as Americans. We are the country where we can disagree like hell and still get together at the dinner table at the end of it.
That's what we lost a little at the dinner table. You really can't get together anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If they know you voted for Trump, they don't want anything to do with you. Okay.
That is the America I know. That is the America we miss. We do not have to be ancient Rome. We don't have to be this nation in decline. We can still be a nation in our ascent. A nation whose best days, not in some fake politician way, but in a true way, a nation whose best days are actually still ahead of us. Still on our way to that shining city on a hill, that country where no matter who you are, or where your parents came from, or what your skin color is, or how long your last name is, that you will still get ahead in this country with your own hard work, your own commitment, your own dedication, and that you know what? You are free to speak your mind at every step of the way. That is the American dream. That is what won us the American Revolution. That is what reunited us after the Civil War. That is what won us 2 world wars and the Cold War. That is what still gives hope to the free world. And if we can revive that dream over group identity and victimhood and grievance, then nobody in the world, not a nation, not a corporation, not a virus, not China, is going to defeat us. That is what American exceptionalism is all about. And that is what we will revive this November when we send Donald J. Trump back to the White House. Thank you all. God bless you and your families. And may God bless our United States of America.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Vivek Ramaswamy said, I've made a lot of progress. People now know how to say my last name.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Kind of like Georgie Bashanzavili. Georgie Bashanzavili, basketball player, Illinois. It took us a year and a half, but we got it. Vivek, like cake, Vivek Ramaswamy.
That's right.
I think he's got a tremendous future. I like hearing him talk. I think he's really smart. Tonight, J.D. Vance takes to the stage. Never heard him speak.
That's right.
I've heard him interviewed, but never heard a speech.
And quite a story out of Ohio.
Unbelievable. A kid that had an addicted mother, had an absent father.
Pretty much raised by his grandma.
Raised by grandma, and apparently had 7 stepdads along the way.
Oh, wow.
Whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's a man that went to the Marines. He's a U.S. Marine. Went to Yale. Has to be brilliant to go to Yale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, looking forward to hearing him. So I think he's 6 foot. How tall is J.D. Vance? Can you say how? 6'3"?
And he's 39.
39. He's the 3rd youngest vice presidential candidate ever. And I think he's like 6'3", if that matters.
His birthday's August 2nd, so he's coming
up on 40.
Mm-hmm.
Big 40. How you probably celebrating that on the road. His wife was a clerk for John Roberts on the Supreme Court.
Oh, wow.
So it was Indian American. So she's impressive. I think they have 3 children. So J.D. Vance takes center stage tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And Donald Trump tomorrow night. And again, will he be a little different this week? I hope so. from the standpoint of the bombastic stuff, the name calling. Oh boy, if I'm in Philo, Illinois, saying he doesn't need that right now,
right?
Certainly, there are people around him that tell him he doesn't need that right now,
right?
So let's take out the crooked part when he's talking about Joe Biden. Just call him President Biden, and it's just a tweak here and there, and it'll be so lofty in his presentation that there's a lot of people that would be attracted to that. And they'll still love Trump. So this is a huge equity right now in Donald Trump.
J.D. Vance, by the way, 6'3".
Yeah, tall. I think Donald Trump's about the same, maybe 6'2".
That's right.
And, of course, he's shrinking, as we all are. So if you used to be 6'4", you're not 6'4" anymore. So we just all get smaller.
And that Hillbilly Elegy is something I'm interested in checking out, the movie capturing J.D. Vance's life. You reading the text?
Yeah. Shooter got too close. Shot was too easy. 5 shots at 130 yards with the new .308 rifle. Yeah, apparently he said it's a good thing it wasn't a decent shot. I thought he was a decent shot, but apparently, I guess it's a 2-foot putt. I mean, it's a layup. It's easy for shooters. I don't know. But I've heard many people comment on how far 130 meters is, or yards, whatever it was, away. And apparently with that gun, somebody said I could teach somebody in 10 or 15 minutes how to make that shot. So, and he belonged to a shooting range. So I think had the president not turned his head, he would have died. So again, not a bad shot, but obviously, yeah. I didn't know that. I thought that was over a football field. Isn't that kind of hard to shoot?
Right.
Apparently not with an AR. I'm not very well versed in the league of shooting. All right, 8:46 sports headlines.
Well, we might get this Redbird recap, which, talks about the All-Star break and American League beating the National League 5-3.
Cardinals and the rest of Major League Baseball remain on the All-Star break. Last night, the Midsummer Classic in Texas. The American League scored a comeback win thanks to 5 unanswered runs. Shohei Ohtani opened the scoring in the bottom of the third when he connected for a 3-run blast off of Collinsville, Illinois native Tanner Houck of the Red Sox. The Yankees' Juan Soto drove home 2, and Cleveland's David Fry drove home another to tie the score in the bottom of the third. The Red Sox' Jarren Duran delivered the deciding blow in the bottom of the 5th inning, blasting a 2-run home run off the Reds' Hunter Green. Duran's shot earned him the Ted Williams All-Star MVP award as the American League takes the game 5-3. The Cardinals' only All-Star selection, closer Ryan Helsley, did not appear in the game, electing not to pitch. He was replaced on the National League roster prior to the game. The Cardinals remain off today and tomorrow, opening the second half Friday in Atlanta. For the Cardinals Radio Network, I'm Joe Pott.
As I look at the statistics, American League has won more, but the National League won 3-2 last year. But then you have to really keep scrolling to find out the other National League win. There it is, 2012.
Wow. So American League
2011, 2010.
It's called the Junior League. American League was second after the National League got started. So they're the younger bunch. Well, they didn't dominate in that game.
It was a tie in 2002, 7-7.
That because that started the whole, it's going to have meaning. Bud Selig, the commissioner, said, okay, whoever wins gets home field for the World Series.
Okay, Bud Selig.
What did that have to do with anything?
Right.
Because these are just guys being honored.
I know.
So they took that away, fortunately, because you should go to the best record in baseball to have the home field.
So, but it does look like American League is taking commanding lead as far as what is the percentage? I didn't look up wins and losses, but all good.
Yeah.
In any case, Major League Baseball has had some draft news. If you want to look that up, there's another little trend popping up about robot umpires in spring training.
Yep.
And the automated ball strike system.
I think you need a man, a woman, you need a person behind plate, but I've seen that, and it works beautifully. And then when the players get called out on strikes, they just walk away.
Right.
Because they'll be embarrassed if they look at the replay. Mm-hmm. So the problem with the automatic ball strikes is crouching down. if you kind of crouch your body, then the box is going to get confused. So you can manipulate it, so they're working with that. I love the fact that you get 2 challenges during the game in AAA now, so you can say that was too low, I want to challenge that. And you only get 2 per game, and they can make the review in 15 seconds, very fast. And it works beautifully. And I love it. I think that, some of these umpires that are calling guys out when it's 2 or 3 inches outside is bad. Changes the whole thing when it goes from 1 ball, 2 strikes versus 2 balls, 1 strike, too. One quick check of the weather before we leave. Coming up.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club.
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Rieken, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Summer is here, and Pia's is the place to be with their live patio music. Head on out to 1609 West Springfield Avenue in Champaign and enjoy a laid-back show with friends as you stay cool, sipping your favorite cocktail or beer. This Wednesday, July 17th from 6 to 9 p.m., don't miss John Drake live on stage. Pia's, the best place for fans to meet this summer to cheer on your favorite teams and enjoy some great music on the patio. 1609 West Springfield Avenue in Champaign.
From computer systems to brakes and tires too, at PDR, fixing cars is what they do. Remember, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 or use their dedicated text-only line at 383-0619. Additional information including repair quotes and online scheduling requests available from the website at pdrauto.com. Remember, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Well, we get everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign event of Saturday. Nice spell of weather ahead for mid-July over the next couple of days. A slow drop on humidity and dew points for the day today, setting up some real comfortable weather tomorrow, Friday, and a good part of the weekend. And boy, we need the quiet time around here. It says recent storm damage, flooding, rainfall. Boy, some big numbers. Almost 10 inches of rain east of East St. Louis yesterday morning and afternoon. So flooding going on there. Back towards Illinois, Mississippi Valley, and sections off to the east as well. We may be back into a weather pattern from south to north over some of those wetter areas of the Corn Belt early to mid next week. Maybe a few sprinkles of rain this afternoon to the east and south Champaign County. Partly sunny skies. Northwesterly breeze will freshen up to 82 for the day today. Fair cooler tonight down to 58. Sunny, pleasant for the day tomorrow. Much lower humidity and a high at 76. Low to mid 50s tomorrow night. Mostly sunny, 78 for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Highs up near 80 with more rain ahead due in late Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting Agriculturist, Greg Solgay.
All right, so listen to the boys this afternoon on The Drive after 3 today, and they'll have very latest on things. Kind of a quiet time.
Major League Baseball resumes on Friday with 14 games scheduled.
Yeah, and don't forget, it's the 17th, meaning 2 weeks from tomorrow's August 1. I think that's when campus starts coming live again, and everybody's got a different date when they come back. I don't think school starts till later in August, obviously, but people that work, whatever it might be. I mean, marching, we don't give enough credit to Marching Illini because those guys are doing double sessions, and their practices are just sunrise to sunset.
Yeah.
So when you watch halftime, it's like, I'm going to go out and get them. These guys are, and a lot of it is just they're learning it new.
Yes.
Some of their formations. Can you imagine being on the bullhorn above everybody saying, all right, over there, the trombone guy, you're supposed to be on the 32-yard line, not 32.5-yard line. Yeah, it's precision. They film themselves. They probably look at tape. A lot of work goes on the field.
All those formations.
Yeah, and then, of course, all of our players, and they got to be good at football. And I am clueless as to how this season's going to go.
Right.
I have no feel. None. All eyes have been on basketball.
And we'll start Thursday, August 29th against EIU at 8 p.m.
And then we're home the next weekend against Kansas, who took us to school last year in Lawrence. And then we host
And then it's pretty much homecoming against Central Michigan with an 11 a.m. start.
I don't have time to look this up, but it has to be in the modern era, we've never had a homecoming in September.
It is an early one.
September, I don't remember in my life having a homecoming in September. I understand. We're having the 100th anniversary. It'll be a perfect 100th anniversary, honoring Red Grange and the Galloping Ghost, maybe one of the best performances
Illinois versus
ever.
Michigan.
This will be one of the most memorable, historic, cool graphics, everything, if we win.
Exactly.
And Michigan, they lost their coach, they lost their quarterback, they lost a lot of things, but it's Michigan who's got a 5 deep. Ridiculous. Age of socialism. They need to give me 5 players.
What's up with that?
Anyway, we'll play that game and hope if we upset them. It'd be fabulous. Wouldn't that be something? Anytime, and we can beat them. But it's I don't know I don't know. I have to see our team. Look forward to Eastern Illinois, August 29th. All right, thank you, Diane.
Enjoy the day.
That's Diane Ducey. I'm Stevie J. Thank you for listening. Meet you back on the radio tomorrow with John Decker live from Milwaukee. Great television. That's tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday.
BMW, Buick, GMC, Honda, and Subaru. Welcome to Sarah Champagne. We can handle all your car repairs on site, including paintless dent repair, bumpers, windshields, everything in between. We have an amazing selection of new or pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Shop from home and buy online or reserve your vehicle before it hits our website or dealership. Sarah Champagne is home of the Sarah One Price Promise, delivering an honest and transparent buying experience. Hurry in or shop online at sarahchampagne.com.
I'm Justin Ike, co-owner of Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, Electric, and Underground.
So, Justin, tell me what you see as typical when it comes to sewer repair. Give me a scenario.
Your sewer's backed up and somebody comes along and says, you need this repair for X amount of dollars. Here's my price. And you don't think to go looking for another company or a second opinion because you don't feel like you have time.
So is it possible that you might get charged a little more because it's kind of a desperate moment? Do some companies do that?
Oh, absolutely they will. They know you're in a pinch. Typically, if you call us, me or Will can be out there within an hour to look at that problem for you. Whether you call me first or you call me second, make sure you give me a call.
Anything else, Justin?
You can always trust Fred's.
Great to know. Thank you. That's Justin Ike, the co-owner of Fred's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Electric, and Underground. If you want more information about this great 45-year family-owned company, just go to fredscu.com. That's fredscu.com.
In an ever-changing real estate market, it is so important to work with experienced agents like Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor teams at Taylor Realty Associates. They have the knowledge and expertise to get your home sold for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Trust the experience and success of Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor team at Taylor Realty Associates. Give them a call today at 217-355-0700 or visit them online at taylorboys.com. That's taylorboys.com.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
PDR Automotive has now been serving the Champaign-Urbana area for over 50 years. To give you some perspective, 50 years ago ended the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War, and it was when Secretariat won the Triple Crown. So what does that mean for you and your vehicle? Whether you need a carburetor overhauled or your new vehicle computer system diagnosed or programmed, PDR Automotive has the experienced, knowledgeable staff that can handle all your automotive needs. Online at pdrauto.com, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
What is most important in your life? This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. If you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that help clients realize their goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
On Friday, July 26th, the Cardinals welcome the Nationals to town. That night, thanks to Coca-Cola and Deerbergs, 25,000 fans 16 and older will be surprised at the gate with a 2004 mystery bobblehead. This collector's item celebrates the 20th anniversary of the Cardinals' 2004 National League Championship. But which one will you get? Find out on Friday, July 26th. For tickets or more info, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Jim Edmonds, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Lou.